Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we will see that reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with each other. And if we want to see changes, we have to make changes. And Wednesday, we focus on any obstacles that are keeping us from moving forward. We look at the part of the feminine side of self and her obstacles, and the masculine side of self and his obstacles. And that is an energy, not a gender. So you can identify with either side more strongly than another, of course, but both sides will be in effect inside of you. Thank you for joining me. We're going to start with Divine Feminine because she had cards showing today. A lot of them, Divine Masculine did not show many of his cards. And let's get started. So, the general energy surrounding Divine Feminine's obstacle. Just have to get my notes because I don't always remember this order of. So, the general energy, this would be the headspace and the heart space that we do. We are getting in the headspace, and this is with the tarot, and then the heart space with the Star Spinner tarot, which was a birthday gift from my sister. We're getting this beautiful hermit card, and it's so washed out today, but that's good because you can't see how burned I am. It was worth it. It was a beautiful day at the beach, and I was in a convertible for the first time, which is stupid, but was fun anyway. It's really about your ego because the actual effect of having your hair whipped around in your face and getting a sunburn while you're driving is not that cute. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna be really honest. But I was like, oh my god, I'm in a Camaro for like a day. It was fun. Okay. So, Divine Feminine. The general energy surrounding the obstacle that she has is one that's putting her in a headspace. Uh, she's trying not to watch so much. She's trying not to be like to let her mind need to see things so much. She's on her own right now. She's alone and she's really soul searching for the reasons why it's difficult for her to like see the truth about situations that she's been in, whether that's about her own culpability. I mean, it always is, but whether she's coming to terms with that it's like, listen, this person is a reflection. So what is still out of alignment? Because the situation is out of alignment. And so this obstacle that she's dealing with, she's trying not she's trying not to think about it. She's trying to like work up the courage, I think, to like admit that she has needed to be alone and that the space that is demanded by this outside energy, while it is uncomfortable, is necessary. But there's like an unwillingness to be honest with the self and like a retreat or just a going within energy, which is not negative necessarily because it's about getting this clarity that she needs. She's like not seeing something clearly and she really needs to, wants to, and feels unable to. That's what the block is feeling like. It's like she doesn't understand. I think also we see this masculine energy here. So she's in, and this energy is like not willing to reveal the truth or speak or come forward, or like the page energy, the page of swords energy is where even though you don't have the tools or skills necessarily, you still pick up the sword and go into battle to defend, the knight that you're supposed to be learning from. So he's this energy for her has just not been willing to do that or come forward, and she's looking at the reasons why she might be blocked, that's blocking this energy from coming. And then the obstacle. Okay, in the headspace we have the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Two of Wands upright. So my initial instinct when I saw the Seven of Wands come out when I shuffled was like Divine Feminine is so tired of fighting. She's just not really feeling this willingness to fight. Um, just exhausted kind of a feeling. And then the song that came on for that time of the shuffle was What Difference Does It Make by the Smiths. And the lyrics to that, I'm going to read them. All men have secrets, and here is mine. So let it be known, we have been through hell and high tide. I can surely rely on you, and yet you start to recoil. Heavy words are so lightly thrown, but still I'd leap in front of a flying bullet for you. So what difference does it make? It makes none, but now you have gone. And you must be looking very old tonight. The devil will find work for idle hands to do. I stole and I lied, and why? Because you asked me to. But now you make me feel so ashamed because I've only got two hands. Well, I'm still fond of you. So what difference does it make? It makes none. But now you have gone, and your prejudice won't keep you warm tonight. Oh, the devil will find work for idle hands to do. I stole and then I lied just because you asked me to. But now you know the truth about me. You won't see me anymore. Well, I'm still fond of you. But no more apologies. I'm too tired. I'm so very tired. And I'm feeling very sick and ill today. But I'm still fond of you, oh my sacred one. That song is this obstacle. I'm sick and I'm very tired. I'm wounded at a deep level. Like I can feel this emotion welling up in myself, not even realizing how this exhaustion is my obstacle. Just so tired. And the Two of Wands, of course, is often associated with this twin flame journey. It's about a mirrored energy. It's about asking for something and waiting for it, um, but not being able to see it, right? Which is that Page of Swords in reverse. Like she can't see the outcome. Um, she can't see the reasons for why she's alone. And she doesn't want to be alone anymore, fighting for this. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at where did this block originate? Oh. In the head space, we get the Lovers in reverse. And in the heart space, we get the Knight of Wands. So this originates from the masculine energy not being faithful, not this is energy of philandering or cheating or having other lovers or multiple options, multiple parties. Um, so a past energy where this has happened perhaps, and then overlaying this upon the current masculine energy. It's about this. If that's not the case for some, then it's about this divine masculine energy acting only from a place that was physical or just a sexual connection, and um, not something with more commitment. These are commitment issues and insecurities. This is like baiting or hooking divine feminine, trying to draw her in, and then just not following through. It's the back and forth, round and round. I love you. You're hurting me. I love you. You're hurting me. I love you. You're hurting me. It's so funny because my son is a very he's a Gemini, so he's got to be making noise or moving things or touching things or like just it's difficult for him to just kind of, and he also will push boundaries, I think, because his father is extremely controlling. And I think the way that as a kid you react to that varies, but one of your only means of control is like loud vocalizing or just being sort of defiantly like teasing kind of a thing. And so he'll like be teasing and then like hit you a little too hard. You'll be like, ow, like, why did you do that? I just thought of that interaction of being like, I love you, but like also, you know. And so it's that this is what is making divine feminine exhausted. That she feels like divine masculine is like love bombing her and then hanging her out to dry. And it's very, very uncomfortable. Okay, so how is this block currently manifesting in the 3D? We are getting the King of Swords in the headspace upright and the Seven of Pentacles upright in the heart space. And so what we're seeing is divine feminine is experiencing a masculine energy that is icy cold and aloof at times, but also in integrity. So her own masculine energy within herself, she is staying in her integrity. She's trying not to engage in any of the behaviors that caused this exhaustion to begin with. So she's learning that. She's also learning to be just a little bit more in her headspace, a little more analytical and logical and patient with herself. But she, I think, is coming off as icy and cold and aloof because her patience keeps being tested by this Knight of Wands energy. She's just like, are you fucking serious? I tell you, here's this. Here's what you need to do. It's very clear instructions and it is not unreasonable. Then when that boundary is set up and she tries to maintain that boundary with this, with the force and sort of cool logic of the King of Swords, then the masculine energy kind of freaks out a little bit and then requires, like, he goes into the love bombing. He's like, oh. And then she's like, okay, it's okay. I'm here. Everything's fine. I'm not going anywhere. I am not running. I'm going to be in here. When you're done throwing your fit, you can come back. Like Grace Strega said on Sunday. If you missed that reading, you can go to Grace Strega's page on Instagram and catch the readings we do at the top of the week, where we each take a side. And then at the end, we answer questions. So if you want to ask personal questions, you can always have cards pulled for you at the end. Well, when we did it this week, there was this theme of, that masculine energy kind of throwing a toddler fit, and then divine feminine being like, look, we're good. You just got to stop doing that. And when you're done doing that, I'll be here. Patient. I've planted the seeds. I am confident that they're going to grow and blossom and bloom into something really powerful because I'm in my integrity. I'm telling the truth. I'm seeing clearly. So that's what we're looking at in 3D energy. What will help remove this obstacle? Oh. The Nine of Swords in the headspace and the Two of Swords in the heart space. Now, there's a lot of air here, a lot of thinking. We've got the King of Swords. I mean, that's the most, profound thinker here in the mix. And then we've got the Nine of Swords, which is about fears and anxieties. And we have the Two of Swords, which is about decision making normally. It's about making a decision, and it's about not having, like, kind of being at a standstill, being at an impasse, and not making a decision because if you choose this way, this will happen. And if you choose that way, that will happen. And someone somewhere is going to get hurt and it's not going to be good. Okay. What will help remove your exhaustion over this twin flame situation is if you face your fears about this decision. So I would guess the decision is, do I stay or do I go? Go listen to that song. No trouble. Do I stay or do I go? You are afraid of making a decision. So you have to face the fears you're having. You're really afraid the police are coming to rescue you. Do you hear that? And this is a card about wanting to be rescued. You could take this as just remaining in this standstill, blocking your fears, and trusting that the divine is going to make a decision. That could be one of your choices. I'm going to face my fears. I'm not going to run. I'm going to stand here, right? I really want to run. Because what difference does I really want to run. I'm tired. I don't want to stand my ground. That's my obstacle. I'm tired. So, one thing that will help remove it is facing this fear and just accepting that that divine decision will be made. In the meantime, blocking these fears, or just realizing that you really can't get it wrong. You can't make the wrong choice here. Whatever choice you make is going to bring you where you want to go. So you can face the fear and make this choice. Now, the Two of Swords can also be about blocking energy when it shows an individual with the swords crossed in front of herself with a blindfold, but that's not the deck I chose today. So the image that we got today is two individuals facing off against this blue moon, which might have significance for some. Divine Feminine, I feel like you really need to face your fears about this soulmate. There's something here about how you are mirroring each other and you are both standing still in this impasse because you're both very afraid. So, Divine Feminine, you just need to write down what your fears are about this person and face them. Find a way to face them. Like, if I'm afraid that if I block this connection because it is really so painful to me, more painful than anything I've experienced in a long time, that I will never be able to have a love like that or whatever. First of all, good. The love that you've had with this person has been pretty harrowing. So maybe you should face that fear. Like, there's probably someone's going to be a little nicer to you. 100. Or maybe I'm afraid that if I stay in this standstill and await this divine intervention, which I do believe will come, that I am perpetuating the cycle and that I will continue to get hurt over and over and over. Well, that's me believing that I'm not going to be liberated by God, even though I've asked for that. So that's about faith and facing my fears of like making the wrong choice. So doing that work, Divine Feminine, and really kind of going into what you're afraid of. And also, I think maybe having an understanding for some in the collective, this Divine Masculine is too afraid to make a move. And you are too afraid to accept that. And so you just keep waiting, like, no, he'll heal. And he might not yet. Which means you're choosing his needs over yours again. So there's that. Be careful. Okay. I don't do questions during these readings. I do them on, if you want to ask questions live on Sunday on Instagram, I do live questions. This is a free reading in its entirety, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of questions answered. If you stay tuned, we're looking at the feminine side of self and the obstacles that are holding you back at this point. And if you have an obstacle that's holding you back, then that's probably going to be this reflecting upon the person you're interested in asking a question about. Okay. Who or what should I release from my past to move on? Ugh. All right, well, you remember where this block originated, don't you? With the Knight of Wands and the Lovers in reverse. So this could be karmic partner, right? A karmic energy or a masculine energy that keeps engaging in karmic cycles, whatever. Okay? Who or what should you release? The Knight of Wands. Where this originated. And the Five of Pentacles in the heart space. Now, look who's in the Five of Pentacles. This is a weird Five of Pentacles, by the way. Normally, we have two individuals, like in the original deck, we have two individuals and they are outside of a sanctuary window. And it looks cold and they look like they're in some state of distress, and one's on a crutch. It looks like there is a feminine energy. She's leading this masculine energy that's crippled. And it's a card about lack mentality, whether that be heart space or head space, material or spiritual, just the state of lack. Divine Feminine in this image has this little child here, this little wounded child. And there's a mirror here. Now, this is normally a sanctuary, but it's a broken mirror instead. So Divine Feminine, you must release this divine masculine energy inside of yourself that engages in Knight of Wands behavior. And you're like, I don't do that. And but that's because you're interpreting this behavior with, like, let's say cheating or something, and you don't cheat. So you're like, I don't cheat, so I'm not Knight of Wands. Like, well, the Knight of Wands is not just a cheater. He's not just, he's a bit shallow in his shadow. This isn't his shadow. There are good traits about the Knight of Wands too, but we're looking at what needs to be released. So we know that there's a masculine energy that engages with you in a shallow manner. So you are engaging in a shallow manner, either with that masculine energy I'm talking about, which is very possible and probably likely because of the mirror, or others. Like, you're not investing in your relationships. You're not investing in your business. You're not investing in yourself. You're being inconsistent. You are kind of only showing up like when the feeling moves you, and you're not necessarily prioritizing the basic minimum requirements in some area of life. So you have to release that. Now, look, the mirror here is broken. Divine Feminine, it's like she stopped looking in the mirror and found instead this divine masculine energy inside of herself, this wounded child. She was trying to heal a wounded child that was outside of herself, but you can't heal others that way. You can guide them towards their own healing, right? Like, it's like if you're a doctor, you can't make the regimen you recommend to your patient happen by forcing them to do it. You just give them the guidance and send them on their way, holding the space for them that you have given them the best description and the best, most convincing arguments about why they should do the things that will actually help them. Now, all you're doing is giving them confidence in their own ability to receive healing. Divine Feminine, you have forgotten that. And you, through that mirrored cyclic relationship, you kept trying to heal this part of yourself outside of self, and it was inside of self that actually that needed to take place. You have to release this energy of love bombing and leaving, and look inside of self. That's why the hermit energy is here, because it's like, okay, where am I doing this and why? What can I learn from this current pause? We're getting the Two of Cups upright, which is this beautiful image from the Fountain Tarot, where we have these two individuals reaching into the cosmos for their cups, which are filled by the divine, so that they can share them with each other. Now, I always notice that divine feminine is closer to receiving this cup than divine masculine is to receiving his. He's looking at his and reaching up, but they are both reaching for her cup. So divine feminine is learning how to focus on her cup and allow divine masculine to focus on his. And believing in the eternal connection, the cosmic aspects, that it is about learning this, and divine feminine getting control of this ego, you know, the one that was riding around in the Camaro yesterday. And it's like, bitch, is this really that great? Like, it's just like anything else. It's a pleasurable experience. That is it. It doesn't say anything about you. It doesn't define you. Just because you were in a Camaro yesterday doesn't mean that you weren't as good the day before or today. There's this control she's learning over this beastly side of self that is constantly trying to like frighten you into doing what it wants you to do, and instead allowing the divine to show you where to find love. Always inside of self first, focusing on your own cup. And it's giving her a lot of strength. So she might feel tired with the Seven of Wands in reverse, but she has a lot of strength right now. Okay. What can I look forward to once this obstacle is removed? Oof. All right. In the headspace, we are getting the World card in reverse, which is interesting. And then in the heart space, we are getting the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Now, this is really interesting because you'll remember that the general energy surrounding this obstacle was the Page of Swords in reverse. Now, this is a page energy, is a young energy. It's an immature energy. It's one that doesn't know how to wield the truth, right? But divine feminine, what we're seeing for her is that she is now seeing this, getting this clarity, like she's receiving this clarity by cutting out this energy bravely, which feeling not brave enough, soul searching to find the way to be brave enough to just cut this energy out, to just cut it out. Now, that could mean a lot of things. That could mean cutting out a specific person, but I think it means cutting out thinking about yourself as not worthy. Because I feel like divine feminine feels this lack inside of self where she doesn't feel worthy of receiving this passion and this love and this truth and integrity and honesty from a masculine energy. So it's cutting out that fear, cutting out the things that make her feel like this masculine is too afraid, or she's too afraid, or whatever it is. And to get the world in reverse, but to have this image of showing divine feminine on top of the world. Now, this means like if the world is in reverse, there's chaos, like there's disorganization, like um, there's something that's not quite over, something that isn't yet complete. And I think what we're seeing is if divine feminine can face her fears and be honest with herself and believe in the cosmic connection, she can feel she has to acknowledge that this connection, this twin flame journey, this soulmate journey, this calling, this personal mission is not over. It is not over. So she doesn't have to be afraid of if she decides to block energy or not. It could be deciding to wait. She doesn't have to be afraid because we've seen that this is not over. And eventually, this cycle will complete and she will be on top of the world. But it's going to require honesty with herself, integrity, and a willingness to cut through to the heart of things and not hide from truths that are hurtful. So that's good. Okay, divine masculine. I'm scared. I need coffee. All right, headspace and heart space, general energy surrounding divine masculine's obstacle. In his headspace, we have the Tower in reverse from the Ethereal Visions Tarot. And in his heart space, we have the Two of Cups upright, which we already saw today over on Divine Feminine's side as the thing that she's currently learning. This is the physical union. This is a meetup in the 3D in the present moment, okay? And what we're looking at is Divine Feminine getting to finally have this. This is what she's learning by releasing these fears of unworthiness, by either choosing to wait for the divine intervention we're seeing here in this tower, or to walk away towards another energy. But I don't see a lot of walking away here. I just see facing the fear that it's not going to happen. We can see that it is. And we can see right now that there is the divine masculine side of self. Now we see the Tower in reverse in the tarot. That is usually an indication that there is a reluctance to initiate the rebuilding of something. So there's most likely been a tower or a separation, and now there's this unwillingness to initiate it, to start it, or an inability to, or a fear about it, or whatever. And in this particular deck, this individual is wearing a mask. So it's an unwillingness to reveal, to take the mask off and reveal this true revelation here, right? This light. So there's something blocking him from fully releasing past fears or energy, unmasking, taking off the mask, and coming forward into a physical union with divine feminine. That's the general energy. What is the obstacle that is causing him not to initiate? Don't shoot me, please. I am just the messenger. But in the headspace, we have the Ace of Cups. And in the heart space, we have the Nine of Swords. And yes, we did see the Nine of Swords over on Divine Feminine's side as something that would help her remove her obstacle of being very exhausted and almost wanting to give up on this cosmic journey because it's so tiring. And the universe is like, just face your fear. Just face your fears about believing that it's going to happen or not going to happen. And you'll be fine. Divine Masculine's block, obstacle, is his fear of offering his cup. Where did we see the cup? Over here. In this image, I was called to say that it looks like they're both reaching for this cup, although Divine Masculine's eyes, you can't really see in this, but his eyes are gazing here. But the hand isn't quite here, getting there, right? Instead, we're focused on Feminine's cup. Oh, and it keeps spilling over and spilling over and spilling over, and then his is nowhere in the picture. It's nowhere close to coming in there, right? There it is. Divine Masculine is afraid to receive. He's afraid to receive, and if you're afraid to receive, then you're going to withhold. So that's his obstacle. Let's help him out. Where did this originate? Holy shit, I can't. The Queen of Swords upright and the Star in reverse in the heart space. So this originated, his fear to come forward towards Divine Feminine comes from the fact that he has kept her hidden for so long that now Divine Feminine, Mitch, she's not even in Queen of Swords right now. She's in King of Swords. This is her current energy. This is a defensive energy for sure. Icy, cold, and aloof. All business. All business. Like, really? So Divine Masculine is afraid of facing her swords. There were a lot of swords in here. The Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Swords. He's afraid of facing the truth about how much healing is required in this relationship with this very, very, very wounded queen. He's afraid there's also the potential that he is afraid to reveal his feminine energy because of another feminine energy that is very problematic, very difficult, not excited, not happy about it. So that's possible too. And probably, honestly, both things. That it originates from both of those experiences. So how is it currently manifesting in the 3D? Wow, okay. We're getting, in the headspace, this card called the Well from the Ethereal Visions Tarot. And it shows this image of this woman, and she's leaning over this well, and there's like this air energy that's kind of it's incense coming from, she's got a censer here. So there's like a ritual thing that's happening, and it's the 22nd card in the deck. It's the card after the World card. There's these two extra major arcana energy cards. And this is in reverse. And then we're getting here the Lovers upright. So the way that this is manifesting is that it's hard to describe the feeling. The Divine Feminine here in this image is alone, and she's come to a well seeking inspiration, probably seeking that divine energy. This is almost like a Three of Wands thing, like seeking for the divine to fill your cup so you can see. It's like been cloudy and foggy. So basically it's like he's like lingering around this feminine energy with this love that he has, and it's this like vague, it's like a muse energy. It's functioning in their, like, as inspiration for the things that they're creating. So there's this really creative energy that's taking place, but I'm struck by the fact that he's seeing Divine Feminine alone, and I think he's having these fears that she will be seeking elsewhere for fulfillment, or she might be considering that, or she is doing that. What will help remove this obstacle? Holy shit. The Lovers again, which is here and here and here. Wow. Okay. Well, what will help remove this block is something he already has, right? The Lovers was currently manifesting in 3D, and this is what will help remove the block. And the block, of course, is being afraid of giving and receiving, and the Two of Pentacles. So what will help him will be to make a choice to choose love and to choose it's like to be balanced. His gestures in here remind me of the magician, but he holds his hand to his heart and then points it down to the earth instead of holding it up to the heavens. It's like taking your heart, choosing to take your heart and manifest. So what will help remove the block is just choosing this that he desires so much, choosing what he wants to have so much. Who or what should he release from his past to move on? Oh my God. It's the Nine of Pentacles in both placements. So Nine of Pentacles is when it's in its light, it's single, fabulous, independent. It's like abundance, material prosperity, the reward after the hard work that has been done. And it can be about being attached to a specific manifestation. Now, the headspace is showing this divine feminine who is blonde. The heart space is showing this divine feminine with the opposite colored hair, almost like black. And in this instance, this feminine she's tending to all of these flowers, or all of these grapes, rather, this abundant harvest of grapes. And in this energy, this feminine is got a house and a car, and she's got just one glass of wine. It's like this feminine is nurturing and tending. She's done this work. She's enjoying her harvest. This feminine, her harvest is like being given to her. So divine feminine, if he has a choice, he has a choice to make between two feminines. And he's got to release one of them and choose one. This can also be, if it's not a situation where a person has another energy, it can be a situation where this person is releasing his own single and fabulous independent energy and his self-indulgent behavior that has caused him to not choose this love and instead keep being selfish and self-indulgent and releasing that energy. And being so attached materially to the divine feminine that he doesn't let her go and grow. And a fixation on the material itself, always being focused on, like, instead of being focused on the harvesting these fruits with divine feminine, he's focused on providing them for her. So this could be what he needs to release too. So could be any of those interpretations. Don't freak out if you're like, oh, somebody's got someone else. It doesn't mean that. It's just that could be, this is a collective reading. So there could be some people that's true. But it's all those things I just said. Even if it was he has to choose between this one and that one, he has to choose between self-indulgent and selfish and choosing something that's more material and more about his ego, or choosing something that is much more about long-term growth and prosperity, and like a combined effort that's not about being alone and being single. So he has to maybe release also just that feeling of being single, like if he has commitment issues, all those layers. Okay, what can I learn from this current pause? What can you learn from this current pause? Okay, so when this card came out, it did one of these things. And so when this happens from now on, if it's not completely in reverse, the way that I feel about it is that we're at the point of crossing from one side to another, right? We're at an intersection of sorts, okay? So what he's learning from this current pause is this Three of Swords and this Princess of Cups or Page of Cups energy. This can be about learning how his emotional immaturity has caused a lot of pain, that he has engaged in third party energies and how much pain that has caused, how immature it has been. And it can also, because of this, it can be about transitioning from this place of focusing on the heartbreak and healing the wounds and letting those swords fall from the wounds, and doing that deep healing work that needs to be done in order to be able to receive true love. It can be about that too. I really think it's about learning his lessons about being emotionally unavailable, um, emotionally underdeveloped, and having a sense that facing those hard truths about the self, that it was this immaturity on his part that caused him to play with this divine feminine energy. And everybody got hurt. What can I look forward to once this obstacle is removed? Oh. The Ten of Pentacles and the Empress in reverse. What's really interesting is this Ten of Pentacles has no feminine in it. It has a patriarch, it has a loyal companion, it has a young, youthful, kind of androgynous energy, actually, could be feminine or masculine, but it doesn't have the partner. So my feeling is this past energy we saw, the Queen of Swords and this other feminine energy here, and this could be a past maternal energy that had like a distorted feminine energy, something that was influencing his ability to be happy. So it doesn't mean that he has a current partner and he's got to get rid of that. It could mean that it would probably be more like an ex-wife type of an energy, or a long-term partner, not just a karmic, but somebody, well, I mean, I don't mean to say not just a karmic, but like not just like a fling, but something that was a little bit more significant. But it can really also be about the mothering energy, and if there was a really toxic mothering parent energy or whatever, about releasing the profound effects and holds that overprotective, overbearing, or maybe under nurturing, neglectful type of energy, the effects they had on divine masculine. It's removed that energy from the picture of his happiness. It's no longer blocking him from his happiness. So if divine masculine can choose, look at this. Oh, I just noticed this too. How is this currently manifesting? Holy fuck. The divine feminine, the Muse, right? She's alone at this well, and maybe not waiting for him anymore because he's engaging with this other energy. Look at this energy. To remove this obstacle, he would have to choose this energy. Look at the difference in these two cards. And I chose these decks randomly. And then who did he have to release? There they are again. That's really hard not to notice. And then when we get to this point here, what do we actually see? the distorted feminine is gone from the picture. And if that distorted feminine energy, whether it was the one that wounded him as a child or a current partner that is currently wounding him, that distorted feminine energy has blocked him from his happiness, and she will be gone if he chooses divine feminine. It will remove this other energy. It will remove the wounds, or he will have removed the wounds in order to make that choice. Okay, well, that was specific. Let's go ahead now and look at the oracles for divine feminine. Divine feminine, this will be the energy that will help you overcome these obstacles. Ooh, looks like you've got some shadow stuff going on, and I'm not surprised. Okay. Divine feminine, the first archetype that's coming up for you in shadow is seeker energy, which is really interesting because we have that hermit energy here, and it's a very similar feeling for me up to a hermit card of the seeker on their own, on their journey. And the shadow attributes is the inability to commit to a path once found. And what are you learning? The strength to commit to the path once found, right? Because the outcome is it's not over. I will stay committed to this path. I will not abandon this path. I will not run. I will stay on this path and trust that I can receive what I want, right? The divine masculine side of self. So, divine feminine, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. If you stay on this path, you will learn the lessons you need to become who you asked to become. So don't shy away from it. It was put in front of you. Don't squander it. Then you're getting the Messiah card in reverse. This is an exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. And you need to call in the light, which is serving humanity with humility. You have an exaggerated belief that it is your job to heal the divine masculine. That's this broken mirror thing. You're trying so desperately to heal this broken mirror, but this is what needs to be healed. And this isn't on the other side of the mirror. This is right within you. So you have to focus on your own healing and don't worry about what divine masculine is doing. Don't worry about it. Focus on what you need. Do not try to be the Messiah here. And to emphasize that, which came out in reverse, is literally the Messiah coming out in reverse. Christ will take care of it. Look at what he's holding. He's holding the world, and you are going to stop thinking that you do. Right? This is what you learn. Christ holds the world, not me. A higher power than me. There is also this message here of a miracle. A miracle. Do you know what a miracle is? Have you experienced a miracle? I have. I've experienced miraculous things. They are inexplicable. When you tell someone about a miracle, they're like, what? They almost don't believe you if they couldn't see it. Expect a miracle, divine feminine, but expect it to come from outside of you, not from your own machinations. And this is the biggest one. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Forget what you think you need. Forget about it, okay? Right now, you have asked for something and it has an essence, and you think you've asked for what you needed. You said, I want Joe Schmo from Idaho and only Joe Schmo. I refuse all other Joes, just Joe Schmo. That's what I want. That's what I need. And the divine is like, Okay. But Joe Schmo isn't any of the things that you asked me for in a person right now. Joe Schmo from Idaho is like deep in inner child wounds and really not able to express to you right now because of it. But he's working on it, but he's not ready now. So if you wanted a companion, you wanted a companion right now, you want like a soulmate energy, you want that, I can give you that. And you're like, no, I want Joe Schmo. Because I need. And the divine is like, well, you don't really need that energy. You need like, reciprocity. You need like common decency, integrity, honesty. Those things you keep asking me for. Like, I've got that all down. Like, you still need that. And he can't give it to you. But you want him though? Do you see how this works? Just trust that you've asked for something and it's got an essence, and the essence is understood by the divine, and the package that the essence comes in may not look the way you expected. Happiness. Because overall, divine feminine, there has to be happiness. At the end of the day, if you don't feel it, then this person isn't going to bring it. And in fact, is probably going to bring you a lot of unhappiness because you're feeling unhappy. And so you're going to get that reflected right back to you. Enjoy this time of fulfillment and bliss. There are incredible things happening all around you. And if you can just hang on a tick, just wait a minute and let this unfold, you will be able to receive all this happiness that you're looking for. And then here's your strength coming up again. Don't let pride get in your way. And that's what you're learning. You keep being like, why is it taking him so long to get this fucking cup? Oh, divine masculine's got the cup. It's over here. It's just, he has it. And why is it taking him so long to give it to me then? That's about your pride, your ego, thinking it knows right now what it needs right now. Divine masculine is doing exactly what he's being told to do. Exactly what he is being called to do, and nothing more and nothing less. Don't let pride get in your way. No. This card with its lightning and its tower, and it says wait, postpone, pause, and say no. You are tired and you want to move on, but you've asked what will get rid of this obstacle for me, and you received wait. Face this fear about what's going to happen if you do wait, and just wait. Just wait a minute. Don't let this pride get in your way and push you towards something new because you're like, he's not coming fast enough. This isn't coming fast enough. That's free will. And that is going to just fuck you up every time. Dove Spirit is here with a protection message of be at peace. And then we're getting very profoundly Dragonfly Spirit, which I think we got Dragonfly yesterday or whatever day, Monday, that says truth transcends illusion. So be at peace. This is illusion right here. Nine of Swords is all about illusions of the mind, fears that you are feeding, about this lack, about this inconsistency, about this poverty. But those are illusions. And if you can allow for this truth that you were resisting in your reading, your outcome is that you embrace the truth, right? You see the truth, you embrace the truth, and the truth is it's not over yet, and you have to wait a minute and just be at peace until you can be at peace in this Two of Swords energy. If you are in a state of fear whenever there's a minute or a pause, whenever there's a holdup, babes, you will never get to taste that happiness because there's going to be a lot of holdups. There's going to be a lot of times you're like waiting for something. So you have to be really, really, really comfortable waiting in line. It's like my parents never took me to Disney World. I was from upstate New York, and going to Myrtle Beach and Disney World were the two vacations that everybody always did. My parents didn't do either one of those with us, which honestly, I'm not resentful at all. But I really am not. Like, I could care less. We used to go to Enchanted Forest Water Safari, and that was the fucking best. Okay, it was the best. It was way better than Disney World. I know for a fact. There's definitely, you did not have to wait as long in lines there. And that was how my parents convinced us. They were like, "Oh, Disney World is terrible. You have to wait for hours in line." They told us, they taught us this whole illusion of like how awful Disney World would be, and how we shouldn't, like, it would be so terrible because we'd have to wait for hours to experience the joy of a ride. And I would always think to myself, if it's so bad, why do people do it? Like, it must be fun, or people wouldn't bother to pay that much and wait that long. And every Disney movie I had ever seen, I was like, dude, Disney's legit. I'm sure this place is fucking amazing. And stop it off, my mom had been there when she was young and loved it. So their illusions about their ability to afford it created this like discomfort around waiting also. Like, it was just like, oh, it's so awful. Is it? Is it awful? We had to wait for a year in quarantine, and there were a lot of awful things about that. And I'm sure there were many extroverted people that felt that it was the most horrible thing that had ever happened. And I get that. But for me, the wait was the best thing that ever happened to me, hands down. So, Divine Feminine, if you can be at peace and not need to jump out of something because it's just uncomfortable because you have to wait 3 hours for it just to have a fun ride, be at peace. All right, Divine Masculine. Oh, y'all are both in shadow today. Okay. Here's your first shadow. You're in the shadow attributes of the athlete, which is a misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, a false sense of invulnerability and entitlement, and it's coming out with the bully, which is saying concealing deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. I'm just trying to think of how this is. I mean, so the light attributes of the athlete is a dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, and a development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. And the light attributes of the bully is highlighting your tendency to intimidate others and helping you confront the inner fears that bully you. So I think you're letting your fears bully you, and it's a lot of hot air, and there might be a person or an entity or a belief system that's bullying you, and making you feel weak, like you don't have enough strength to face this. I mean, air energy is about truth, and truth was coming out all over the place. So because you feel that fear, you tend to kind of go into this dark, selfish Nine of Pentacles energy where you're actually abusing others. And in this case, we know Divine Feminine who's exhausted. Like, you've exhausted her beyond. She's not feeling even willing to fight anymore. She's facing this obstacle right now, but that's the obstacle she has to face, is one where she's like, I can't even come up with that energy. Like, there's like, I had a sense yesterday that the masculine energy like needed me to feel like this Page of Cups energy again, and I had to go deeply within to find it, because I have been so exhausted that I was like, I'm not excited. I'm not excited. I'm not hopeful. I'm in this. This is where I'm at. You have love bombed the fuck out of me and left me in the cold, and I don't believe in anything different. I just think you're going to keep doing that to me, and I don't know how to not think that, and I don't know how to not feel that, and I'm just stuck in this place where I can't let go of you, but being with you is awful. So imagine divine masculine facing that, trying to offer a cup to somebody who just said what I said and feels what I feel. I still want that cup. I do, but I don't know why. And I have this feeling of like, prove it. Prove to me that you're entitled to this love. Show me, because I can't see it anymore. All I see is the bullying and the hurting. And I've forgiven you. I do forgive you, but I'm still tired. You know, like I don't take it personally, but it still hurts so much that it's really hard for me to be like, yay, because I'm afraid that this is just going to continue. Only now there's going to be a physical component and stuff, which will be even harder to let go of. So divine feminine's got to face her fears about everything I just said. Waiting for you has felt terrifying and awful. And divine masculine is afraid to face a feminine that feels that way. He is getting this music card in reverse. Play music with Saint Cecilia. You know, she is the patron saint of musicians, and this can be a card about if you are creative in some way, really tapping into that creativity and creating things, creating something. It can be about being more playful, taking things a little more lightly. Can be an emphasis on it. It can also be about not using indirect communication. But you'll have to see like how that hits for you. Like when I pulled it out, if you were like, oh, can't do that anymore, or oh, I really need to do that. I haven't done that in a long time and I'm not feeling myself. Something in that, like wherever that falls for you. Divine masculine, instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good of all. Wow. Wow. This will change. This is a game changer for you, divine masculine, because you prayed. This is the thing you needed to let go of, right? This is something specific, material outcome. You have to pray instead for the highest good of all. If you pray, instead of praying like, oh, please, I want to have my divine feminine and I want this to work out for us and I don't want her to be with anyone else and just wait for me and I want to be with her and let this all happen and let me have this miracle that will make this work out. If you shift this energy to, please show me the path to doing what I need to do for the highest good of all, for my divine feminine, for the energy that I'm currently involved with, for all of humanity, not just myself, but everyone. And that doesn't mean I have to be selfless and never ever do anything for myself. That's not what it means. It just means that as I am taking care of myself, as I am nurturing, healing, honoring myself, as I am listening to the calls of intuition that I get that directs me and guides me along this path, let this be for the highest good of all. Not just for me or what I desire, but for all. You're getting dreams, divine masculine. And this might be just that you are having profound dreams right now. You need to pay attention to them. I keep waking up and knowing that my dreams are important and having trouble remembering. So maybe be a little bit more diligent about setting an intention to remember your dreams, waking up and writing them down. And this is also about being able to receive your dreams. You've asked for things. Now allow those dreams to come to fruition. Lighten your load. Oh, look it. Divine masculine carrying the whole world on his back. Divine feminine sitting on top of that world. So funny. Divine Masculine. You are needing so much to delegate. You are still trying to make this happen. You're still trying to do it. And the universe is screaming at you. Look at, he is, I can't see this, kind of blurry, but he is screaming. Can you see it? At this light while carrying all this on his back. Drop it. Drop the feeling of responsibility that only you are responsible for all these things. This isn't, you're not responsible for any of this. This is all in the hands of the creator. And this is an illusion. And you need to stop thinking that you're the only one that can handle it. The answers you need are coming. And that's the Gemini, the twins. They were here on Monday too. So it's like Divine Masculine has asked for things. He's asked for help. And he needs to trust that he's receiving the answers, or that if he's asked for signs from Divine Feminine, that he's going to get them, or however that works. And then this is in reverse. This is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. It's no more retreat. No more retreat. Come out of this retreat energy. Divine Feminine's there on her own. Go to her and lighten this load, Divine Masculine. Take the cup, offer the cup, and she will help you bear that load. She will help show you how to share that responsibility with the divine. Claim your independence. That was very, very, very striking that this came out with 2 iterations of the 9 of Pentacles in head and heart space, which are cards of independence. You need to claim your independence from some energy that is holding on to you with tenterhooks. Claim your independence from this energy. And let's actually read this card, which is 13 in the Colette Baron Reed Spirit Animal Oracle. When Cat Spirit meows, she is calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships now is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware and willing to grow, trusting the value you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you in kind. When you say no to codependency and enmeshment, live and let live, and practice taking risks as you wander into new territory for you. Cat Spirit rejoices. She is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. Now, there is a distinct possibility that this current message is to release both energies. My ego doesn't want to hear this, but my ego is also being told that I just need to sit tight and wait, because this work needs to be done if I want to get what I want. Do I want this? Yes, I fucking do. Okay, cool. Then sit and wait for it and face this obstacle. Oh, you're tired? Oh, you're tired? Is it hard? Look around you. Go play piano. Go read a book. Watch a TV. Spend time with your kid. Go make good food. Get a ride to the beach and get sunburned again. The only reason it's hard is because you're afraid. If you knew it was coming, you wouldn't be fighting it off. You'd just be like, oh, it's coming. And it is coming. But it might need to let you go. It might need to stop talking to you at all, which is what you've been asking for it to do. Because all it's doing right now is this fucking bullshit. I love you. I love you. I love you. But I'm not coming yet. I love you. Just kidding. I love you. I'm not sure. I love you. I love you. You want that? Or do you want something that's going to stick around? If you don't want this kind of shit, in, out, 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 then let him do what he needs to do. And if that is let this other energy go and let you go because he's found himself enmeshed in you now, Even though you're like, what the hell? I'm doing my best to not be in codependent relationships. He's like, I know. That's why I can't be with you, because I still don't know how to do that. Let him go. Let him go. Okay. Let's look at the bottom of the decks for the both of you. This is what you're in union about. Oh, man. This is your archetype. It's blank, and it's in the shadow and in the light at the same time. This is right now, you have tabula rasa with one another. Divine feminine, if you can accept the place where divine masculine is, you can fill this card in any way you want. Divine masculine, if you can accept where you are and where the divine feminine is, you can fill this in any way you want. You have a fresh start, a clean slate. There's forgiveness that's happened. There's understanding, there's compassion, there's unconditional love, and there is this anticipation for something completely new. Divine masculine gets don't retreat, and the union gets retreat. It's possible that this card is meaning to, this is an emphasis to that divine masculine really needs to go into a retreat. But if the obstacle is he's not giving the cup, I feel like getting through the cup is, or the fear is choosing this. So to me, this is not retreat for divine masculine. But retreating from fears and anxieties in general. And this is also a card, when you get this card in this deck, it's like go on a retreat, go on a vacation immediately, like escape. So it can be also about that the two of you really need to just take a mental break, like just take a little mental break, or kind of like even immerse yourselves in one another in that 5D energy. Just retreat from the wounds that you've caused one another, from the painful cycle that you're in. That's more about where I would feel that retreat is coming in. The universe has my back, the both of you. Oh, you're getting friendship. Now, this is the Three of Cups energy. This is celebration and it's union. And you just really have to be friends to one another right now. Like, I'm currently in a place where I'm healing inner wounds, and I'm not really talking to my friends as much as I was before, because I'm in a place because I'm in this energy, this hermit energy, like kind of searching out all the ways that I have been feeling. I wrote down yesterday that I felt like I was wrapped in cotton my whole life, like, and that now I'm peeling away those layers. And the reason I was wrapped like that was so that I would never have to feel the real fearful wounds I had and actually allow them to pass through me. I was afraid I couldn't face it. So I'm needing a lot of alone time to go through that unraveling. And some of my friends are taking it personally that I'm not talking to them as much. And I've heard them, and, I'm making an effort to balance my needs and their needs too. And just letting them know, but it's also not something I really want to talk that much about with others. Like, it's something I can't really explain, and it feels weird to discuss it. So it's not, and I don't want to have a lot of small talk right now. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, how's the weather? Oh, it's nice. Because I don't feel like faking anymore. I don't feel like wearing a mask. So if I can't talk about my DM, which I can't, which is a huge part of my life, and I can't discuss that with people for various reasons, some of which is like they don't want to hear about it anymore, and they don't like him anymore because of how long it's been and what I've endured and their perspective of me being hurt and wounded by this person. And then some which is just I can't, because it's something I can't disclose because of the needs that person has. So I can't talk about that. And then the inner wounding that has happened from childhood is also something that makes people uncomfortable that they don't want to talk about. So it's like when I'm with you and you want me to be there and perform for you. Hi, how are you? Oh my God, I'm so cool. And I'm like my ego and I'm so funny. I'm just not fucking interested in doing that anymore. And I would also, in order not to feel my feelings on a lot of my calls with people, I would just try to fix their problems because I didn't want to fix mine. Healer, heal thyself, right? So I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm trying to focus on my own inner healing. And then when I do reach out to people, giving them giving them the consideration of my friendship and really being mindful of trying to keep those strong bonds with them, even though I'm needing space. And so I feel like this is translating to this union that both of you are going through what I just said, and both of you need this space, and you need to have this sense that you both have a deep friendship that's allowing you to have this space. Like my true friends give me the space without feeling like they're taking it personally. And I have a handful of people that understand and have given me the space I need, and they never are upset with me about it. And I'm like that with them. And then I'm finding some of the other friendships where that's not true, that there is a quid pro quo going on there. And I didn't realize it. And so, anyway, it's all those issues coming up for you, but hold strong to that friendship and that heart centered connection that you both have. Confidence is your key to success. I mean, you just got to keep feeling confident about the situation. A personal issue reaches a resolution. This is the Cancer energy. So it's probably a personal issue that has to do with home or loved ones or family. And whatever issue that has been going on in regards to that for both of you, it's reaching a resolution at this moment. Get grounded. So empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. I just did the biggest connection with nature since I went to the Huntington Library and also got sunburned. Am I an alien? Why can't I be in the sun for even 5 minutes? I put on so much sunscreen yesterday. I bought baby sunscreen and I was putting it on my face all fucking day. And then I had spray and I was like, and I'm just not allowed to be in the sun. Maybe I'm a vampire. Anyway, I'm going to have to go get grounded in the shade. But this is about grounding the union. This is about coming from the place of always being in this 5D energy, in this ethereal space, and actually connecting now in the physical. And you are doing that. You're being told right now that the union is grounding. I just thought of a baby crowning, which might be a tough image for some if you've ever had one. But when the baby crowns, that's when you can first start to see the head. And there's this sense that like this thing that was internal is actually an external thing that is coming forth. And it's still painful. It still requires that concentrated effort of allowing the body to do what it needs to do to continue to manifest or birth this thing. But it's visible and it's really tangible now. And then you're getting flamingo spirit. And this isn't the only flamingo we saw. We saw, where was the other flamingo? But I noticed it and I was like, oh, is it a lover's card or something? I don't know. It was somewhere. Anyway, here it is again. Flamingo spirit, embrace the in-between. Oh, you poor devils. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Myself included. Because the in-between, my God. If you're feeling nervous and wobbly, stop worrying about the past and the future. Instead, be present in the moment, balancing. For now is the space in which creativity arises. Creativity is your birthright, but if you're moving too quickly in an attempt to avoid the discomfort of transition, you can blind yourself to the miraculous possibilities that are before you now, and those just coming into being. The past has its lessons and planning has its merits, but right now you may be imbalanced because you're becoming too nostalgic for what once was or too anxious about what the future might hold. There is time to plan carefully. For now, be still and know that Spirit is here co creating with you in this moment. The next step will appear when it needs to appear. Relax into a state of equanimity and balance so any anxiety can transmute into trust and faith that all will be well, as it will, for the highest good. Beautiful message. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Spirit. Alrighty, let us see. We will use this deck and this one and this one. Alrighty. Let's close out with some final cards that will show us exactly what we need to do today to remove these obstacles and come into this balanced energy that we just heard about in that lovely Flamingo Spirit card. I'm going to use my Big Lebowski deck, which is a big hit, of course, because it's the Big Lebowski and there's nothing better. And we're going to use the Lenormand for Divine Feminine. Thanks for being here today. Please click the description box below for all the links if you want to schedule a personal reading or a coaching session. I'm also teaching in intuition, like teaching how to use tarot and other things, not just tarot, for reading messages and for tapping into if you found out recently that you have some kind of a heritage, like a broken line or something, and you're trying to learn how to connect with your intuition. I have a service called Get Tuned In on my booking page. And don't be intimidated by the pricing. Those are suggested donations, and I do income-based, like discount codes or whatever you need to get it to where it's an even energy exchange for us. Yeah, so you can click there. There's a bunch of different services. And then, of course, I am a musician. I'm Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and my music is available online as well on all the streaming services. You can go download It's Me, Babe, and listen to it over and over and over again and tell all your friends. And that's free for you and fun for you and helps me out so much because I support myself through tarot and music. So please help if you can. There's a support button on that page too. And if you want to send me a deck, there's a link that shows Amazon wish list somewhere here in the description box of different cards I'm calling in so you can see all the different imagery every single day. Okay. Divine Feminine, let's look at you. What can you do today to help yourself remove this obstacle? Interesting. Okay, we are getting... Love you, babes. All right, we're getting wedding rings, union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, and everlasting promise. Okay, and then we're getting love in reverse, which says unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. We're getting the birch rod or the whip, and the Page of Wands, and we're getting the letter or the Seven of Swords. Okay, it looks like today, Divine Feminine, your obstacle is that you're feeling tired about this twin flame journey. Like you're tired of the journey, you're tired of waiting for asking for what you want, and you're tired of waiting to receive it. So you're being told that if you would like to receive this union that you've asked for, which is just there waiting for you, you have to work on self-love. We just keep hearing it. Unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction for the self. You have to work on the union inside of self. Now, the whip is often associated with sexual energy. It is also a wand-like energy. That is why we're seeing that Page of Wands there up at the top. And it says, birch rod brings strife to what should be bliss. To husband and wife all has gone amiss. Prepare for sorrows that dampen the day, begotten of quarrels that bring much dismay. There's an 11 on it, which I will note is also the twin flame number or whatever. And then we were getting this surprise letter from a place remote brings good news from a friend who wrote. If the words portend a stormy sky, sadness will soon much intensify. Okay, so I do think, Divine Feminine, that this is about you. Says Birchrod brings strife to what should be bliss. It's like you've got wedding rings here and your love is upside down. And this card is like, what you should be celebrating is actually bringing you strife. Like you're actually caught, like it's like you're flaying yourself, or like I can't think of what that's called right now. In religious practice, completely lost the actual term, but it's like when you abuse yourself for God or whatever. And then letter. The Seven of Swords is here, and it's talking about a surprise letter. So I guess it's just sort of like you have to work on really believing in the possibility of the union. There should be bliss right now, and all of this energy, this worry and fear and anxiety, it's just bringing strife to what you should actually be pretty happy about right now, because this information that you're seeking is coming. We already got the answers are coming. You're gonna know exactly whether or not you made the right choice, quote unquote. You're gonna find out you did make the right choice, whatever choice that is, because there isn't a wrong choice to make. Okay, Divine Masculine, let's look at you. You are getting not today, not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, a call, a person, boundaries, and still angry. And then we're getting hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. We are getting the Nine of Swords. And it's fucking fantastic because I haven't gotten this card yet in this deck. And it's the scene where Jeff is in the bathtub smoking a joint, and freaking Flea and the nihilists come into the bathroom to scare him. They put a ferret into the bathtub to scare him into giving him what they want. They want the money, Lebowski, but he doesn't have any money. He doesn't have anything at all. And so it's the Nine of Swords, and then it is the Three of Wands in reverse, which is about something being overdue. Divine Masculine, it is time to stop avoiding this work that has to be done to face these fears. Divine Feminine has the same assignment today, so she shouldn't be too salty about it. Facing these fears about being able to see exactly what's going to happen, but trusting and having faith. It is overdue. You have to face this. Like, please face this. You have to do it. If you want to remove the obstacle, you have to remove it. Look that's the hammer. That's the tool to removing this obstacle, these fears of what is going to happen, and allowing it to be the time to choose what it is that you desire. All right, here you go. This is the bottom of the deck for the two of you. You are getting the Eight of Swords in reverse, the Coffee Cup, which says meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, and friendship, and the Lady card. There's two ladies in this deck. There is an older lady and a younger lady, and this is the mature lady. This charming woman with flowers in hand, as with the gentleman, her cards will command. The fortunes revealed once the cards have been placed, unveil the fate that destiny traced. Okay? And then we have the Ace of Swords, which we already had over here for Divine Feminine. So Divine Feminine is bringing truth and maturity to the situation. And she is a charming woman, but it is very difficult for her to do this, right? Here she is unable to bring that truth entirely. But that is what feminine brings to this mix, the truth. Divine Masculine is needing to release this energy of protecting himself from what it is that he desires. I'll let you just imagine what it is that he desires there, but there's the Jesus with his bowling ball. And then this meeting, this conversation, this Two of Cups energy. This is at the bottom of the deck because this is what you are fearing. Divine Feminine, you have to trust in your destiny and fate. Divine Masculine, you have to release your tendency to protect yourself from what you desire. And that is that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, look, I got it to be under an hour and 50 minutes. What an accomplishment. I hope that you shall join me again on Friday, where we can go a bit deeper into these obstacles and learn how to completely release and rebuild once we have released these obstacles. So I shall be doing that Friday morning. You can see me again on Sundays with Grace Strega, sometime between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time and 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think. I don't know. Something in there. Pay attention to our stories on Sunday mornings, and you will see when we're going to go live that day. We usually have a countdown, so you can just click on that, and it will alert you when we do go live, and from whoever's page we're going live. And you can ask questions at the end of that reading. So I will see you on Friday and then again on Sunday. But thank you so much for being here. Have a good day today and believe in your fate. Trust it.